Hi there! We're excited to announce huge improvements to our mobile experience. Since you've been running mobile tests with Rainforest on Android or real devices, you're familiar with the general process as it stands. This major update will greatly simplify the creation, management, and execution of your mobile tests. This means that you can now choose to run your apps on real devices through Amazon Device Farm, or you can choose fast, seamless testing of your apps on both Android and iOS VMs. It's quick and easy to roll over to the new mobile testing experience. We've enabled the new functionality for this demo account, so let's take a quick look at how to switch over our existing setup and start testing our mobile apps. Mobile and web tests are treated as distinct test types in this new experience. We'll get started by configuring our sites and environments to run our mobile apps properly. You'll notice immediately that there is a new category that's specifically dedicated to your mobile apps. The environments that you set up carry over so that you can support different versions of a single app. But unlike the URLs for web tests, which direct your testers to the correct start point, the URLs that you enter here should be direct download links to the version of your mobile app you wish to test. I'm going to transfer over my existing test configuration so that I can use them properly in my new mobile tests. You'll now notice that there's a third category that lets me set the device type. I can select Android VM, iOS VM, or iOS Device Farm. This selection serves two purposes. One, it indicates the file type that I should use for my mobile app to run properly on the device of my choice. This is important to understand in order for your apps to run correctly. I'll briefly explain it here, but I strongly encourage you to read our documentation on mobile testing for a more complete explanation. iOS apps run on a VM must be a .app application bundle. They must be compiled to run on x86, and they must be compressed. Android apps must also be compiled to run on x86. Apps intended to run on real iOS devices through Device Farm must be an IPA file. When you select iOS, make sure you're choosing the right one for your file type. The second purpose is to define the devices that will be made available within the test view. Whichever device you select, that's the VM or device options that you'll see. Now let's take a look at how to convert our existing tests over to the mobile type. Now that we're in the test view, you can see some new options that have been made available with the rollover to the new mobile experience. Mobile tests are created separately, and you can filter them out in the tests list. Let's open up an older Android test and switch it over. On the side menu, you'll see that there's a new test type option. We'll just switch it to mobile. You can see now that the settings have changed a little bit. I'll go up to the app setting at the top, and I can see my options are now the apps that I've configured under the Apps section. I'm going to select my Android app, and my available VM options automatically switch to the correct types. For those of you who've been running native app tests on Android prior to this update, you're going to have a series of steps at the beginning of your tests which instruct testers on the app installation. Be sure you remove those steps when you convert your tests over to mobile. We'll automatically download and install your app from the direct download link you provide before your test starts, so those steps are no longer necessary and they actually won't work when you run the test for the first time. If I jump out of this view and decide I want to create a brand new mobile test, I see that the workflow is essentially the same. If I ever make a mistake and I accidentally create the wrong test type, it's no problem. I can always switch it back from the test view. Finally, let's take a look at our new VMs at work. As I mentioned, when you configure the direct download link to your mobile app, the first thing Rainforest will do is download and install your application. Your testers will land in the test scenario with the app open and ready to roll. I'm going to select the demo Firefox app we have set up for our iOS VM here. As I mentioned, because this is intended to run on a VM, I've read the documentation and I've made sure that it's a .app bundle configured properly to run on a simulator. This will allow my app to load right up. When previewing a mobile app test, you may notice a slightly longer load time than normal. This is just due to the time it takes for Rainforest to download and install your application, and it should always take less than a minute. And there you have it. My app has automatically installed and opened, and I'm ready to start testing. And that's all there is to it. So take a look at the documentation, and don't hesitate to let us know if you have any questions. and happy app testing!